Ni ska få träffa Hejmas Agrifiber Technology som tillverkar massa av högsta kvalitet från jordbruksgrödavfall, från åkeravfall istället för från träd. Hejmas patenterade process gör det möjligt att producera pappermassa av medicinsk kvalitet till industrin med 88% lägre koldioxidutsläpp, med 80% mindre vatten och 70% mindre energi och tid jämfört med traditionella metoder. Hejmas teknologi gör detta utan att använda farliga kemikalier. All the way from Canada, we give you Marek.
Hello, we are Hejmas, one of a kind pulp. Forgive my Swedish. Papia massa. I'm learning. And I say that because if we could flip to the next slide, we have 3 points. We're a patented process, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because there's a little more to go than just patented process. We're an innovative process. How innovative is the Hejmas process? 88% lower CO2 emissions. 88% lower CO2 emissions as compared to traditional wood pulping. 80% lower freshwater usage. Now that stat is really useful if you think about it in terms of currently wood pulping consumes 32% of the world's freshwater supply. If everyone were to switch to the Hejmas process immediately, that would be only 8%. 8%. That would be enough water for Europe to go through 2 years without a drought in comparison. 70% lower power and time. And that means to people in the wood industry, 70% lower H factor or harshness factor. And we don't use any sulfide or chloride chemistry when we made our product. We're looking to deploy in Sweden in Värmland County, anywhere around Karlstad. Now, of course, that's my lovely daughter Eve, and she is holding our freshly produced pulp. That's how safe it is. We know the traditional wood pulping costs on the environment in terms of its utility and what it does. What you may not know and what motivated myself and Andra to create our process, 42,000 square kilometers of forest is cut down every year. That's roughly an area the size of Belgium. And that takes 40 to 60 years to grow that back. For the numbers people in the audience, we know it uses less fresh water, less CO2, less power and time. But where we're significantly more than the wood industry is our profitability, estimated to be 750 euro per ton net, as opposed to 155 euro per ton on the wood industry. And so our profitability is much higher because we are far less intensive both on the environment and in the processes that we created. When we created the company, we thought about circular environment principles. The biggest thing that concerned us was farmers grow food that we all eat and we use, and then they have to deal with the bill, the garbage on the field. What do they do with that garbage? Hejmas thought, well, if we buy the garbage, that completes the circle for farmers. We're able to take that garbage and turn it into a high-value product like pulp. And our process creates a high-value pulp that we're able to sell to the market. Oh, wait, what about the garbage that we produce when we make pulp? Well, what happens with that pulp, garbage, the waste stream, the blue liquor? We use that to sell it back to the farmers as an oxygenated, cellulose-rich fertilizer that happens as part of an offshoot of our process. And that way we give back to the farmers, completing our circle, and they're able to make more of the products that we need to make our product. We targeted high kappa. And what that means to normal people is products that go into medical grade diapers, they go into women's tampons, women's menstrual pads, so the highest value products that are out there right now that use pulp. The reason we target it is, quite obviously, it has the highest profitability. So we know that our investors will absolutely love that idea, because we could go for the lower, but the higher profitability is a good thing, I would think, to this crowd. The other thing that's really good about it too is if you make high kappa products, you can go anywhere below. If you start at the bottom, it's hard to work your way up. This is our core team. I am a pragmatic business hippie. So I do things if it makes sense financially, so it break even, or even better if I can make a lot of money doing it, and my scientific mind applied itself to this problem in pulping. Dr. Anna Fislier, she's a Canadian medical doctor. She's actually starting to develop the human trials for using our products as tampons, menstrual pads. Andre Masea, my best friend, and he is our chief financial officer. He's the guy who makes investors' dollars stretch as far as they humanly can before snapping. And it's good because we never go back to our investors for more money. We're very, very, very efficient about it. Beverly Hejduk, our Director of Human Resources and Policy, and also my wife, and David Troyer, who's our Chief Marketing Officer. Could talk about him, but this is all his work. He is what makes Hejmas magic on stage. They give me the slides, then I come up here and talk. So the patent slide, this is a big one. So for those of you who know patents, you know it is very, very rare to get 100% of all your claims. So the Hejmas patent was accepted at 100%. 100% industry applicability, 100% inventive step, 100% novelty. It's a unicorn. Our lawyer, when we got the patents, literally called me and said, I got the patent papers, you're the second company. In 25 years, I've only had one other company do 100%. So we know it's a very solid patent, but also tells our investors, importantly, nobody is doing things the Hejmas way. Nobody is as creative as we have been to make these products. This is my son, Henrik. Now, this slide freaks out people in the wood pulp industry because they think I hate my son. If this was black liquor from a wood process, my son is now poisoned with sulfide, chloride poisoning. He goes to the hospital. If he survives, he has a miserable life. Our blue liquor process is safe. It's so safe, my kids can, well, in this case, he's smiling. That's very rare because he's missing teeth, so you don't get to see that. But he does smile, and it's safe to touch, and it has absolutely no after effects. And we have used it for the last 2 years as a fertilizer in our test gardens. We target wound care. Wound care is a phenomenal place to start because it's a high-value product, and specifically, that's the category that makes diapers, women's tampons, and women's menstrual pads, who are looking for alternative products that are biodegradable, but they're natural. So no trace elements of sulfide, no chlorides leaching into your body and being close to it. The market's also 146 billion euro, and it grows 5.5% annually. That's around 8 billion euro a year in growth for the next 15 years estimated. We're looking for 500,000 euro. Specifically, we're moving our company from Calgary, Canada to Karlstad, Sweden. And there's a lot of complexity, but also involves some re-engineering to meet Swedish spec and European spec for safety and testing analysis, as well as we have additional patents that we have waiting that's based off of our work in pulp and salaries for the team. This company, if it's done the Hejmas way, is worth 1 billion euro after 4 years. And that is estimates that we have tossed between other CFOs, chartered accountants, and other people who've examined our financials. We know that if it's done the Hejmas way, this will save the planet. So I've got an important question because, this is the room to ask that question. How many people in the audience, by show of hands and a heck yes, how many people do you like making money? Yeah, that's a crowd of VCs. Yeah, we're cool. We like money. Come on. How many people, do you like to make money? Yes. Thank you. How many people want to save the environment? Yes. Louder, come on. It's a match. How many people want to save the environment? Yes. Thank you. And how many people want to help Hejmas bring its vision of the future of tomorrow and have it the reality of today? Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The first word that I was learning, Marek, was middle milk. Your first answer on his question was very typical middle milk Swedish. So now you understand what middle milk Swedish is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Companies that want to make different both in terms of sustainability, the environment, and financially are wonderful. But I wonder, why hasn't anybody else done this before?
It's an excellent question. We get asked that quite a lot, actually. Nobody on the Hejmas team has direct pulping experience. Our advisors have about 100 years collectively of pulping experience. One of the things that we encountered was that in pulping, people who go into pulping are taught by pulping experts who teach you how to think like pulpers, who see pulping problems with pulping solutions, and same non-solutions to some of the problems. We've heard 10, 20 years people have been looking for the answer that we're providing today, and that's because we're not pulpers. We're so outside of the box that allowed us to look at the problem differently and come up with a very economic, profitable, and environmental solution.
Good. What is your most important next step?
Our next step, we know we can make about 1 kilogram to 10 kilograms of our biomass. We're securing decortication in Belgium, and we want to do a 1-ton run. So we need to prove that we can do the scale up in a full process stream.
We are extremely happy that you have chosen to establish yourself here in Värmland. Was it obviously that you chose Värmland and Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden's kind of a no-brainer when it comes to innovation and pragmatism. That's what we really like about the Swedish environment. Very pragmatic, and they're risk takers, willing to look at new technologies. We also know that Sweden incubates small companies that end up having global impact, and Hejmas wants to become that upper echelon. Volvo, Saab, IKEA, and my personal favorite right now, Max Burger.
Go for it. Thank you.
Thank you.